Duel of Fates, Battle of Heroes, Cloud City, The Invisible Hand, all just sitting here waiting to be ranked.
The TFA Snow Forest fight. That's a fun one. All right, Ahsoka v. Maul, Clone Wars. Death Star 2 Duel, Return of the Jedi.
A man of culture, I see. The only true S-tier lightsaber fight.
S tier.
Don't start with me.
I'm just saying, out of all the lightsaber battles, you really think that that's the one that... Whoa, okay, let's settle down. I'm just saying, I don't think that ROTJ is necessarily S tier.
Heard that before.
Whoa, okay. I think there are better ways to handle this that isn't just swinging hot sticks at each other, and also maybe not in the WBW.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'll see you in the studio, okay?
Goodness. ROTJ, S tier. Every time.
You want to run that by me again?
Welcome to Beyond the Dune Sea. My name is Konnor.
And I'm Seth.
And welcome back to another very exciting tier list episode of Beyond the Dune Sea. Once again, we've got the board. Seth, can you knock it off? The bid is over.
I'm sounding like John of the Hutt.
The bid is over. Okay. This is serious now.
It's game time, shorty.
Talking about. I tried to hold the seriousness, but I couldn't do it. We're back with another tier list.
Woo-hoo!
Hey, how about that? Our last tier list was so much fun.
It's true. And I hear you guys like our hot takes. We have the spiciest takes.
Yeah, last week we talked, we had a follow-up on one of our hottest takes with
true.
Rogue One from our tier list.
It is true.
So what is going to be in this little cup this week? Before we get there, my favorite comment from, not last week, but a couple weeks ago, comes from Duel of the Kates, which is a fantastic username on YouTube.
It's a lot of fun.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see a Bad Batch episode that pays homage to Blade Runner when they reach the point of getting rid of the clones for good. The Clone Wars had really good episodes of questioning the clones' humanity and their purpose as creations of war. So I feel like that would be a great opportunity. I couldn't agree more, Kate. I think I think that'd be awesome. I think you really hit the nail on the head.
That'd be sweet. That could be a whole new series.
Yeah.
After the Bad Batch. You know, you think it's over. And
then, boom, there we go again.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So my comment is from Instagram, and this was on our Christmas episode. Yes. It is from Lily661. The comment is, the struggle is real. Crying emoji, laughing, crying emoji, laughing. And I got a couple comments about this. Listen, when was the last time you tried to open a jewel case? I will admit, I'm a little behind the eight ball on this one because that was my jewel case, and I should have known better. I didn't realize that it V'd out and it didn't just like open like a book. Like, wouldn't you think that it opened like a book? Am I the only one? That's what was happening. And I'll admit, it's extremely long, and I really wish that you would have cut it. But instead, you just left the whole thing in.
I like that I even said in the video, because you asked me during the episode, you were like, you're going to cut this, right? And I'm like, nope, it's staying in.
So,
and then I made a reel about it.
Yes, you did. So, yeah, there's that. That's in the ether forever now. Great. So that's all I got to say is, like, I'll admit, when was the last time you opened a jewel case? I got a CD player in my car. I should have known better. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
I
The struggle is
really
real.
did you dirty on that one.
A little bit, but it's fine. It's all in good fun.
Because I could have cut that out.
Could have.
I could have not made a reel about it.
You could have. But it's you chose war.
I did.
Yes.
Hey, speaking of war,
Yes.
Star Wars. We're talking about lightsaber battles in Star Wars this week.
Near and dear to our hearts.
Yeah, lightsaber battles, man.
Yes.
There's a quote from So Uncivilized. He's a YouTube channel. I talked about him before. He's that guy who made that really good Luke Skywalker video.
Oh, yes. Okay,
And
gotcha.
He has a great quote at the end of that video where he's like, how does George Lucas ever ask important character questions? Well, how he always answers these types of questions with a lightsaber battle. You know,
Yeah.
it's just he puts it a lot more eloquently than I do with his editing, but it's really good.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of lightsaber battles in Star Wars. What can be on this list? What can be in this little mug? What can't be in this little mug? So just a couple little ground rules before we just dive deep. All 9 movies. We are going to touch on the shows, but from the shows, we're only doing like 1 or 2.
A couple.
Because like in Clone Wars, there's a lot.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
It's
And
insane.
it would just be, this would be a 4-hour episode. Now, one day we might go back and just do a Clone Wars only episode.
The other
So-
rule that we need to talk about. Lightsabers have to touch lightsabers.
Yes.
So there's 2 lightsaber fights.
With one exception. We made one exception to this rule,
Yes, we did.
which you'll see as we go.
Yes. But like the throne room on Snoke's ship, no blades actually touched
Yeah.
each
So
other.
that's not in here.
No, that
Yes.
is just a fight with a lightsaber.
So I
it's
guess-
not a lightsaber duel.
I guess just to put it out there, the one that is in here is Luke versus Kylo in The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Even though technically no
Yes.
sabers clash.
Mhm.
So, but Clone Wars and Rebels
There's some stuff.
and Kenobi, there's
Yes.
several lightsaber duels. There's only 1 or 2 from each of those shows. Some there's only 1. So
Because we
I
can't
know.
be here forever.
yeah, and that's it. And I'll be, I know it was hard to choose because I tried to choose like what was the saber battle that you think of, you know.
Mhm.
But from the movies, I tried to pick all of them. If lightsabers touched, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
That was the idea. And again, to go back on that exception, I didn't pick Luke and Kylo when their lightsabers actually do touch in The Last Jedi because that's not really a fight.
Yeah.
So now that that's out of the way, let's just get right into it. You ready for this?
Yeah. Are
You
they
ready?
shuffled?
Yeah, they're shuffled.
Okay, cool.
I'm just pulling from the middle.
Yeah, let's do it. Shoot from the hip. It's what we do best.
Oh, we're starting out with Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
It's not going in B. I'm just putting it right here for a
Gotcha.
second.
Okay.
Okay, this is the fight on the Death Star 2.
Yes.
So lightsaber battles, you need, in my opinion, you need a few things.
Yeah.
There's the weight of the moment, like characters. Why are they fighting? And then it's got to be cool. Like those 2 things. Now, the first is more important, way more important, but it's also, the other one's important too. It's got to be cool. I think this fight is actually kind of cool. I think why they're fighting is okay, I guess, because
Trying to find the Wayfinder.
yeah, they're trying to find the Wayfinder, and
breaks it.
he's trying to stop her from doing that.
Yeah.
And then he's also been ordered by Palpatine to kill her. So there's like some convoluted stuff going on. The thing that takes away from this fight,
You got to go to Exegol with me.
yeah, the join me. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's a nice little callback.
Yeah.
I kind of like that it's on the Death Star ruins.
Yeah.
It feels like a kind of mirror. What they were trying to do was be a mirror to Revenge of the Sith, like
Yeah.
lava, but now it's water.
Yeah.
Hey, how about that?
Look at these waves.
What the biggest detractor, in my opinion, no John Williams score, at
It's
least
true.
for the most of this fight.
Yeah.
That's the biggest detractor for this. So I'm going to go, and I'm kind of shooting from the hip from a lot of these. I'll be real. I probably go on C. I'm not. Yeah.
Okay. Run of the mill. It's a run of the mill lightsaber fight.
Yeah, because I don't think it has a lot of emotional weight. I think it's fine. Now, the end of it, if you count like the end with Leia,
Yeah.
I think it does. Like that is a very emotional moment where Rey heals him. I do like that Kylo's really beating her up. Like
Yeah.
we finally get to see after 3 movies, he is the more powerful of the 2 because there's
Yeah.
always a caveat in there. In TFA, the Force was calling to Rey. He was also very injured.
Yeah.
And then in The Last Jedi, they don't fight.
No.
And then in this movie, it's like, hey, we got there finally in the end. Our villain, we finally do find out he is more powerful. But then another sort of caveat comes in where his mom
distracts
reaches
him.
out
Yeah.
and then she stabs him.
Yeah.
I do like that, but also it's just, I don't know.
It's a weird asterisk on his fights.
I think
Yeah.
it's mostly forgettable. I think the choreography is also okay.
This is all I've got to say. All right. Do you like reverse grips?
I know you hate reverse grips.
I hate reverse grips, and guess what? They both are doing it in this. Like, especially when she gets tired out towards the end and she's just swinging, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, no. You're being pretty generous putting this in C.
I know I'm being a little generous with it.
You're being pretty generous. Like, this is going to be the bottom of the C tier, in my opinion.
Hey, I'm just putting it up there. Other things can move it.
Oh, no. But I get that. But I am with you. I do like the whole them fighting on the Death Star ruins with the water and everything. And I do like Finn screaming her name, her pushing him back and stuff like that. There is some really good stuff to this. But yeah,
we had to start with Tross too.
True.
It's like that.
Of course.
Movie,
Of course.
We started with Rogue One on the first tier list.
Give me another.
Let's go.
Give me one. Let's move.
Ooh. Hello there.
Hello there. General Kenobi. All right. Put it in. We could just start it in the. Yeah. We could just keep them in
Everything
B.
will just start in B.
Yeah.
Exactly. So no one's confused.
Yeah. Whole lot of flash, not a whole lot of substance, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, have you ever heard Nick Gillard talk about this?
Nick Gillard.
Is that his name? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Why did I? Gillard? Is that his
Gillard,
name?
yep.
Gillard. Okay.
Stunt choreographer for the prequels.
Yeah. Have you ever heard about that? Like the best thing they ever filmed was that fight that happened before this.
Yeah, with the Magna Guards.
Yes, exactly. And then we just don't get to see any of that. And then we get this, and this is just kind of like, ooh, it's spinning.
Yeah.
Spinning's a good trick. So yeah, I think that this is also pretty C tier.
C tier?
Yeah. That's me.
Above or below Tross?
I think that it's below Tross.
It's below Tross?
What happens in this?
You're hurting me right now.
You can talk, fight me. Bring it up. But like what?
I think that, okay.
You're talking about emotional weight?
In my opinion, so yes, there's the two things, right? First of all, rule of cool, John Williams, it's up there. It surpasses Tross in every way.
Okay.
Emotional weight, yeah. Do these characters have a ton? It's the rematch from earlier in the movie. All right, cool. They finally get to fight.
Yeah.
I think that with a lot of things with Revenge of the Sith, it's not until we get to the very last two fights.
Yeah.
The rest of it is it's a lot about not so much the characters, it's what's at stake.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, it's like this could be the end of the war.
Yeah.
Like if Obi-Wan wins, this is the end of the war. And there's a lot of build up to this fight, the entire movie. Not the fight, but like killing General Grievous.
Yeah.
Like Mace Windu talks about it, Palpatine talks about it. It's like, hey, if they can do this, then that's
all over.
Then it's all over. And if you watch Gendy's Clone Wars, there's also some of that in there too. So I think that with that in mind, and also with the score, and the set piece is really cool when they're on the bike, and they're, if you count that as part of the duel, which
wondering.
I do,
okay,
because their sabers. I guess he doesn't have sabers; he has the staff at that point.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan shoots him with a gun.
Yeah, I would count that as part of it because it's all part of that fight.
Yeah,
and I think that's unique that it ends in kind of a fist fight between Obi-Wan and the cyborg.
Yeah,
I think
fine. I think put above it then.
I personally would go B tier.
You go then put it at the bottom of the B.
Do you agree?
Because technically the bottom of the B.
Did I sway you?
I mean,
I think there's a lot at stake. I don't think there's emotional resonance between the two characters, but I think there's a lot at stake for this fight.
Okay. And it does have the John Williams. That does help.
Yeah, that's where I put it. Ooh. These are so dark. I apologize.
Oh,
Obi-Wan.
This one.
The rematch of the century.
Oh, this one.
Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader.
My favorite.
Round 2 in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Yeah. My favorite.
We put this one to bed. This ongoing debate between the two of us.
Yeah.
I still like this series. I like this fight. Okay, here's a question. Does the conversation count as part of it?
I don't know. Does it? I mean, you're including a lot. Are we including the conversation with that?
That's hard.
Exactly.
No, I guess not. We'll keep it simple.
All right.
So just the fight.
Then okay, cool. He's throwing some rocks at him.
Yeah, I think that there's nothing really incredibly unique going on with the choreography until we get to the latter half of the fight where Obi-Wan starts fighting like Anakin. I think that's really unique. I like how the fight starts. Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan? I will do what I must. It is kind of just playing the hits.
Yeah.
But I actually like the music. I think Natalie Holt does a fun job. It's not John Williams-y, but it's kind of got its own spin. I think that's fun. I like Vader being arrogant. I think that's fun. It does kind of feel like the Kmart version of the Mustafar fight, if I'm being real. Like it is kind of just that fight, but at a lesser degree. But I do like to see Obi-Wan as a character, like getting into the character stuff. I mean, the reason these guys are fighting is pretty cool. Like they are, I mean, everything going on in their minds is, I mean, it's at the height, of everything. Right.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of emotional resonance here. And I think that this is finally where Obi-Wan does learn to rise. And like I said, with the choreography, there's not anything that's incredible here, but I really do like that Obi-Wan starts fighting like Anakin. And that's when Vader starts to lose. I'm probably in B tier here as well. I'm probably where it's at. I'm probably good.
You think it's better than the General Grievous fight?
Yeah, in the sense that I think the reason why the characters are fighting is a lot more emotional. I mean, the
ending of the Clone Wars?
The flash and spectacle is obviously like this one's got it. But I think that, I mean, between these two characters, we're like, this is important. We've talked about it when we covered this episode. Like these two guys are Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they're coming head to head.
Yeah.
I think the fight itself is okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. I'm really thinking about.
I think that it's fine. It's not the greatest fight. I think it's better than that fight. For sure, as far as choreography goes.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's some fun stuff going on here. Like when Vader's throwing rocks at Obi-Wan, he has to do these rolls and stuff. Mm-hmm. When he starts bringing down that spire on Vader.
Yeah.
When he starts punching his chest box. I think there's some fun choreography going on. It's not insane.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool.
All right. Leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to say?
I think they at home know how I feel about this, the show. It's just fine.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Ooh.
We got a good one?
Ooh. We got Anakin versus Ahsoka.
Anakin versus Ahsoka. Okay.
In the world between worlds. My first thought is I just go, oh my gosh, our boy's moving.
Yeah, he's
like it's 2005. Like he hasn't missed a step. I would say honestly, if we're shooting from the hip, this is low B tier, high A tier. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of emotional weight to it.
What'd you say?
It's high B tier, low A tier.
Okay.
Sorry, I said those backwards. That's me just shooting from the hip.
Now, when does this fight start and end?
I mean, I think that they take a break during the middle of it when they stop, when the little her and him stop and talk about the Siege of Mandalore.
So you would include
it picks back up
when they start fighting as adults, and then there's a pause, and then they continue.
Yes.
When she's young Ahsoka.
Yes, up until the point where she's all like, I don't choose to fight anymore. So yeah, I would put it high B tier, low A tier. One of those two.
Honestly, I'm with you in low A because I think that, again, we're talking about why they're fighting.
Yep.
I think this is finally Ahsoka coming to terms with Anakin and Vader.
Yeah.
Like the trauma there. I think that's brilliant the way that's handled.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, Anakin is still Anakin. He's doing this in the best way he knows how, even after death.
Yep.
With a lightsaber fight,
Yeah.
Like that is very Lucas, like talking about that quote from So Uncivilized.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's answering a very important question. And also the dialogue is really great in that too. Like, live or die.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And
just the way he moves.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. The way, I mean, the dude hasn't lost a step.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real. This is the best choreography we've seen in the Disney era as far as lightsaber duels go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that maybe another one.
I think there's a fight. I think there's a fight that's better, but just choreography wise, I think yes.
I was going to say,
so I'd go low A. I'm in total agreement with that.
All right.
Ooh, another sequel. The TFA fight.
Oh man,
the Snow Forest fight.
Oh,
man, I wish these weren't so friggin' dark.
Yeah.
We said it before. I like TFA.
I do too.
This fight, I think, is, first of all, visually, it's stunning. I think that the performances are fantastic, which I'm including the Finn part in this too. I think it's really cool to see a non-Jedi get in the mix because it's the first time we'd seen that.
Yeah.
Like, unless you want to count some Clone Wars stuff, we
Yeah.
see like Cad Bane use a lightsaber, for example. So we see Finn get in on that fight. I think that's really powerful. Like, hey, it doesn't matter. He's going to protect his friends.
Yeah.
He can't beat this guy,
Yeah.
but he's going to protect his friends. And Kylo Ren screaming like traitor. I think he's really channeling Hayden Christensen, the liar, on Mustafar. I really like that. Then once Rey catches that lightsaber, you've mentioned this powerful moment. And then they fight. And I've always loved that. Yeah, Kylo's the more skilled swordsman. He's the more skilled in the Force, but he's injured, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And there is a moment she is losing and she's holding the saber. She's standing over that ridge. She's about to fall. And Kylo's like, you need a teacher. And she just closes her eyes and allows the Force to flow through her. That is the title of the movie, The Force Awakens. That's the moment where the Force awakens in her.
In the novelization, she hears a voice.
Does she? It's Obi-Wan, right?
It's never really said whose voice it is.
Yeah, I always assumed it was Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So then
Could have been Palpatine.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Because I know that, even Daisy's talked about it during that time. It was probably an Obi-Wan connection.
Yeah.
It's like Rey's parentage or familial connection. But anyway, so I think that the why they're fighting is very strong.
Yeah.
I think the choreography is pretty good because I think, at least in this movie, I think that the idea behind there's not been any skilled swordsman for a long time. Because even Luke, he was skilled, but even he was like a generation removed from the prequel Jedi, right?
Yeah.
So I like that it's very primitive. They're still skilled, but they're very primitive that the way they're fighting. They're generations removed from this acrobatic style of the Jedi of old. So, gosh, I don't know. Where do you put it?
High A tier.
You put it in high A tier?
It has the location. It has why they're fighting. It has John Williams. It has the acting chops. Like, there's nothing about it that I have a problem with. Yeah. Nothing. Everything. It's not always about the choreography. It's about why they're fighting.
No, that is the most important part.
Yes.
But I don't want to discount the choreography.
No,
but I do think it's
here's
good here.
the other
It's
thing
good here.
too. That, like, one, she's never fought with one.
Mm-hmm.
And like him, he's very injured.
Yeah.
And two, I think he thinks that he's going to make quick work of them. So he doesn't have to try that hard either.
Yeah.
So I think that, like,
there's a lot going on. I think that we'll talk about it. Well, we won't really talk about it because the throne room fight's not in here, but like in TLJ and in Tross, I think they misuse this where the primitive fighting style, I think going forward, they misunderstand what was happening in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of things going on that make this fight look the way it does, as far as them being Kylo being injured.
Mm-hmm.
She has fighting prowess with her staff, but she's never used a lightsaber.
Yeah.
But also
and then the mind transfer too. That, like, when he was reading, when they were
that's a
connected for the
novelization
first time.
thing, but yes.
I mean, she copied. Like, she knows how to fight a little bit.
I think
now.
the main thing though is the Force is flowing through her now.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part, is that it's the mysticism that has returned to Star Wars in this way. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with high A.
Okay.
So pull from like this side. I must not have shuffled them as well.
What do you mean?
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Bum, 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 bum.
And
you're going to pay for all the Jedi you killed today, Dooku.
Here, I'll do it while you're talking about
it. Okay. So, this is all of it? This is Yoda, Dooku, also?
No, I separated them.
Oh, you separated them. So, I kind of think this is a fun fight. I'll admit that, like, you don't get to see a lot of it because it's cutting back and forth between other things. But I think it's really neat that they're unfortunately fighting him one-on-one. But they both kind of like show off different skills or whatever. Like, Dooku thinks he's just going to beat Obi-Wan just like that. But Obi-Wan kind of holds his own with the lightning and stuff like that. And then it's cool that Anakin saves Obi-Wan and then gets to fight with two lightsabers. And then it goes into the whole, like, that they're like flashlights or whatever. And that really gets to show off at least Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. So, I mean, I would put it right now. Because, I mean, it's just Dooku just wiping the floor with him. So I would put it in the C tier, but I would put it above what we have.
Above Tross.
Yep. Because, I mean,
I
there's
agree.
not a whole, I mean.
That's exactly where I'd put it.
Yeah.
I think this is fun. for all the reasons you just said.
Mhm.
I think you've got the John Williams. There's really not a whole lot of weight to them fighting because
We don't know Dooku well enough.
Yeah, we don't know Dooku well enough. The Clone Wars just starts. We don't even know really what that is yet.
Yep.
We don't hear that name. There's not a lot of stakes here. We just know he has a red lightsaber, so
Dooku's
he's a bad guy.
We got to stop him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we know, and then he beats them. So it's like, okay.
And he doesn't just beat them, like he humbles both of them.
Yeah, which is cool. I'm glad that happens.
Yes.
That makes Revenge of the Sith better.
Yes.
But as its own fight, judging it on its own, I'm in complete agreement. See here. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. This is from Rebels. Grand Inquisitor versus Kanan and Ezra. I think this is an okay fight. Rebels is not my favorite show in the world. There's actually not a ton of lightsaber battles in that show. I was trying to find some.
Yeah.
Like with the main heroes, there's not a ton. I think it's cool because Kanan learns to overcome his fear. I also really like the final moment with the Grand Inquisitor.
Where he lets go.
Yeah, where he's like, there are things far worse than death. And then he falls to the inferno. I think that's really cool. Gosh, this one's tough, man. I don't know because it's not like, yeah, they do build to this all season pretty much. Like
But it's not good.
You don't think it's good?
No, do you?
It's okay.
The only thing that I think is kind of cool is Kanan using the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he uses the dual sabers for a bit too, right?
Yeah.
If I'm
So like there
right.
is some cool moments, but still like I don't like the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, you're
either.
not. See, I do though. I like the Grand Inquisitor. I was upset though that he gets taken out in season 1.
Dies like a chump.
I don't think he dies like a chump. I think it's an earned, like they earned their victory. I just wish
Yeah.
he didn't die in this scene, but I
Yeah.
do like his death.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think it's super memorable though. I'd have to go C.
I would even go D.
You'd go D.
Yes.
How about just bottom of C?
Fine right now. That's fine with me. Look at us.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Who
Getting
would've
along. What?
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Getting along. What we got? Ooh, buddy.
Balin versus Ahsoka.
Balin Skull versus Ahsoka
Tano.
Ahsoka Tano, your girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful location. Beautiful choreography. I'll admit, no John Williams, but pretty good music though while
I
it's
think
happening.
Kevin Kiner has earned his spot.
Yeah. You
I mean,
think so?
Clone Wars, Rebels.
Yeah.
He's earned it.
Yeah. Shooting from the hip. This is an A tier between those two.
I'm in complete agreement.
Okay.
I think that this fight.
I love them fighting again in the map is so cool looking. And why, like him throwing the rocks,
Mhm.
like them bouncing off things. I love how he has a weird kind of like he's a mix between Count Dooku and Kylo Ren with how he fights. It's
Mhm.
very precise, but there's a lot of strength with like he's swinging it like it's a claymore.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I think you put this fight at the end of like a movie with the John Williams music, all that stuff. Which I hate to say that because it sounds like I'm discounting Kevin Kiner and I'm not. But I mean, like that's part of.
I think
the
that's part
ethos.
of like that Star Wars DNA that we bring up.
Yeah.
I think that he is a key factor.
Then I think that this probably is above that for me. But because it's like in the middle of the show,
Yeah.
I think the emotional weight is there, but it's not quite as strong as this.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I put it below that.
Well, I was going to say too, well, I guess you
'Cause
just kind of said the whole movie builds to that moment.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
I do
Is like I think you built, if the entire show built to this,
yeah.
I'd put this. I think that as a fight, this is the best fight in the Disney era.
Oh, really?
You would put one
All
above
of it? All of the Disney era.
You'd put one above it?
I don't know. I like that fight.
This one?
Yeah.
I just said if it all built to this because I think that's the only thing this one
Okay.
has above it because I
Okay.
think as a fight this one's better than that one.
Okay. Okay. I just really like too that like how much they all struggle and everything in that fight too. That it's like I really like that this does honestly feel like a pass of the baton of the generations.
Yeah,
This just is like, okay, this is Clone Wars, but in live action, it's done really, really well.
yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think it's excellent. I think
Okay.
it's an
I mean,
excellent.
I don't want to downplay it either. I really enjoyed it.
It's very, very, very good. Gosh, I wish these weren't so dark. I
What
didn't
is
realize.
it? You didn't even realize what it is?
No, I know what it is. It's just so
Okay.
dark. It's bumming me out.
Yeah.
Mace versus Palpatine.
Oh, look at this guy. This one's tough. I mean,
I
like
know, a lot of these are hard.
Yeah, well, the whole thing too is like, this one suffers because of the choreography. It's a lot of tight shots and how they decide to shoot it because, I mean, they only had like a day and a half to shoot this, I guess, or like a day and a half of practice.
Yeah,
and then
and if you watch Gallard's original choreography for it, it's so much better.
Yeah, it is really, really cool. And yeah,
However,
we got to go with what we have.
And I think that once again, it's that idea of this is the first time we see Palpatine fight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of build up to this. It's like, oh man, are they going to arrest him? What's the outcome of this? Because think about it. It's the first time you're watching Revenge of the Sith. You know the Empire has to form somehow, but how does that happen? What happens to the Jedi? Does Palpatine just kill them all? What does him personally? What happens?
Yeah.
So I'm either bottom B or top of C. Just because I do think that choreography really messes with it.
Yeah.
And also, well, wait a minute. Where does this fight end? Does it include the stuff with the lightning?
I know we haven't been including any of the talking.
Yeah, but that includes a lightsaber, though.
Oh, yeah, it does. Which that's awesome.
It is. That's what I'm saying. So
if we're including that, then I think it's better than the General Grievous fight.
It is.
Do that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Well, we'll split the difference because we'll kind of law of average it because the fights, the unlimited power stuff, that is
awesome.
That's like high A.
Yeah.
S tier stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's good stuff. No, you must die. It's good stuff. All right. Okay. What are we doing?
Oh, shoot. I saw you pull that out of there. Oh, man.
I mean, is there really any question? Do
I need to even put this in B to start it out with so that we can talk about it?
No, because let's be honest. Okay. I mean, what do you say about it? I mean, look at that shot. That's someone this week commented on one of our reels and said that's their Star Wars shot to me.
Yeah, that's the best shot in cinematic history.
The best shot in all of Star Wars.
And that's how that explosion is Mount Vesuvius, is that right? The mountain in Sicily that was erupting. Was it Vesuvius? That was erupting and that it's a real volcano.
Yeah. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, the literal planet that they're on is reflecting what is happening with them.
Yep.
Yes. The world is falling apart around them as their worlds are actually shattering.
Exactly. I mean, what more do you say? I mean, everything we talked about, why they're fighting.
I mean, it's all led to this.
It's all led to this. It's this tragedy of brother versus brother. Like it's the heart of the entire universe. Is right here. And you have the mirror to this, which we'll talk about later whenever we pull that. You have the fate of the galaxy, but then the heart of the galaxy right here.
Yeah.
But it's also, and that's on a macro level, but also on a personal level. And it's beautiful in that way. John Williams. I mean, the dude was like, I mean, you talk about that piano with the fire.
Yeah.
Like that was him, man.
Yeah.
This whole trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, then choreography.
It doesn't get any better.
It literally does not get better. It's the best choreography wise. I don't think you will ever get a sword fight in cinema better than this. It's the best one. And what's even
all of cinema?
All of cinema. I don't think it gets better. You think that there's a better sword fight?
I don't know. I really like some of the sword play in Mask of Zorro. I know that's really random. But
better than that.
It's just different. It's different type of fighting.
Yeah,
though.
it is different.
Yeah, it's because like Mask of Zorro is like more like a fencing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, but a lot of that's really fun. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know that I know that people at home are like, that's out of left field. I just really like that movie too. They're like
the effects look excellent. I like that it's even Hayden and Ewan are the ones fighting. So you don't have an issue like with the Christopher Lee fight where we're having to pull in tight shots just to be able to get their emotions.
Or the Mace and Palpatine.
Yeah, no, it's just them. They worked 6 months to get this fight right.
Yeah.
And my goodness, what a triumph.
And
what a triumph in cinema, what a triumph in Star Wars.
And you've brought this up too before that like if you watch them in release order and you get to this one, this is like such a like bow on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is to just like it's like, oh, this is like feels like the grand finale of everything. And it just kind of is just like it sets everything up.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you watch a firework display and they might pop a few really good ones in there, but they saved that like Mac Daddy for the end.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what this feels like. Yeah.
And that's hard to do, man. You had to get everybody firing on all cylinders for this.
It's true.
Like you had to get John Williams hitting. You had to get Ewan and Hayden, finding actors that can do that.
Yeah.
And it's not like they found those actors for that fight. I mean, they hired them back. I mean, Ewan back in Phantom Menace and Hayden for Attack of the Clones. And it just, everything works. It's just,
It's
again,
stunning.
What a triumph.
It is stunning. I mean, a guy just redid all of it.
In animation.
In
Clone Wars
animation, just
Clone Wars
because.
animation.
Yeah, just because.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Go watch that. It's by Hello There Animation.
Pretty wild.
It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go again. What do we got? Man, they're so dark. Maul versus Kenobi in Rebels.
Oh, man.
Man, there's only like 3 saber clashes in this. Again, I'm sorry for the guys at home watching that these are so dark. Boy, this one's hard. Because it's, again, let's go through our list.
You want me to go?
No, I'll go. We'll go through our list. Why are they fighting? This is, as far as the show goes, there's not a lot of build up to it.
Yeah, this does feel like a loose end they decided to tie up in a random episode of Rebels.
However, the characters, man, they've been building to this for decades.
Yes.
Decades and decades of rivalry, and I mean intense rivalry.
Yeah.
Maul killed Qui-Gon and then killed Satine, and Obi-Wan cut him in half. And gosh, I mean, it's...
You think there's no coming back from that.
Right.
Nah, I'm going to kill your girlfriend.
Yeah, it's rough. And then, so there's that. And there's the choreography. It's simple, but
I mean,
it's very...
With the hand positions going from 4 and 3, but no, I've learned. I'm going to fight like Qui-Gon now.
Yeah, trick him.
To trick him, to be like, oh, I know what I need to do.
Yeah, oh, you're wise like your master.
Oh, I'm going to kill you like your master.
Yeah. And
look what I've risen above.
Yeah. That line alone, man.
Yeah.
Look what I've risen above. Gosh, I don't know. This one's hard because I think it's...
You want me to shoot from the hip?
You tell me and then I'll see if I agree with it.
I think that it is either the highest B tier or the lowest A tier. Because
really?
I do.
I'll be honest with you, I'd almost put it S tier, like low S tier.
Really?
High A tier. I think that visually it's stunning.
Yeah.
I think... The biggest problem is what show it's in. And I don't say that to dig on Rebels. I mean, it does kind of seem like it's out of nowhere.
It does. That's the whole thing. It's one of my problems with it.
Yeah, like you said, it's like a loose end.
It is. It's just kind of like, well, let's just put it in there.
Like, imagine they just release this as a little short film. You know,
it's wonderful.
This
is like the only part of Rebels I rewatch.
I really like it. I really like it.
I do too. That's why I'm willing to be generous. I don't want them to redo this in animation, or I don't want them to redo this in live action. I think it's beautiful the way it is.
Dang, I'm just trying to think, is it better than these two? And
it isn't.
I think it is.
You think it's better than both of those? I think that it's under those.
I think just with the buildup between the two characters, I'll compromise and put A tier.
Yeah.
I'll put it here.
Yeah.
Okay. It's good.
It is good. It's real good. Okay, we're okay. So, this is the first lightsaber battle.
The only one that's bright.
Yeah. The first lightsaber battle. What is that image, too? Where'd that come from? Like, that doesn't even look like...
I think it is a shot from A New Hope, they just re-rotoscoped the lightsabers.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I just kind of pulled the first shot from Google Images.
Okay. Wow. I mean, this is the
first one.
Yeah, this is the one that started it all. I'll admit, it's not very fancy. I'll admit that, but there is weight to it.
Yeah.
There's weight to their conversation. I think that it is either the lowest of the B or the highest of the C.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you. Because I think that this fight, I mean, it's the one that started it all. And like you said, it's not fancy, but also...
But you have the gravity.
It's not always about that, right?
No, it isn't.
I think that the weight matters more than the choreography.
There's very few times, like, because you're going to see S is going to definitely be our least probably, category. There's very few times all that falls together where the weight can match the choreography.
Yeah.
It's usually you get one or the other.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And usually, at least I think we're going to find both are just okay.
Yeah.
Both are just okay. And it's like, I think that this fight, it's hard because it's like, do you look at it of just I hate to use the word objective when we refer to art. I'm not a fan of that at all. But it's like, do you look at it objectively in terms of all of Star Wars? Because like, if you look at it like that, I mean, yeah, the fight's not very good. But
No.
I mean, you have to look at it in context too, because it was the first one. And I also think it's kind of cool in that way.
Yeah. I like how it ends too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weight to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Ooh, wow. And we're saving all the good ones.
Oh man.
Da, 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 da. No, it's Battle of the Heroes.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. We're gonna get flagged.
I don't think we're that good at humming to get DMCA. So, yeah, Qui-Gon v. Maul v. Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's a good one. I
Yeah.
mean, this is like the duel of the fates. It's just, why are they fighting? I mean, this is the Sith have returned.
They have.
This is a big deal.
It is three strangers fighting each other, though.
Well, it is. But again, we talk about stakes. Stakes matter too.
They do.
And that can kind of override character motivation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because they're like, they have to stop this guy because he's
going to murder Queen Amidala.
Yeah. And like Dave Filoni has said, like, this fight determines what happens in the galaxy.
Yeah. The fate of everything.
Yeah. Like, this determines what happens to Anakin. This determines what's happening with the Trade Federation. How's the Sith going to return? Because Maul was originally part Palpatine's plan.
Yeah.
You know, but then he's gone.
We haven't gotten that far in the book yet.
Oh, and then the Plagueis?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that and I mean, then the choreography, it's great.
It's really
They
good.
actually had to slow it down because it was too fast.
Yeah,
in post.
especially that 45 seconds when Obi-Wan comes out of the ray shield thing.
It's very good. I mean,
Yeah.
Ray Park is killing it.
Yeah.
As Darth Maul.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I love Liam Neeson. The stuff with the ray shields. Or not ray.
Mhm.
They're not ray shields, but the
What are
force
they
fields.
then?
I don't know, the force fields, whatever,
Yeah.
the red shields, where he's meditating and you have Darth Maul walking back and forth,
Yeah.
and then he kills him. It's very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I mean, I think it can go nowhere else.
I was going to put it the
Highest A?
highest A. That's where I was going to put it.
Really? Why?
Again, it's the three strangers, and I feel like that you're using the Dave Filoni thing as a crutch. I feel like that
He's right.
Is he though? Where'd that come from? He's the only other person I've ever heard come up with that. So then I feel
Seth,
like that,
where do you think the name Duel of the Fates comes from?
John Williams.
Why do you think he named it that?
But do you think it's really the fates of Anakin? Like it's for Anakin's soul? That's who they're fighting for?
I think so.
Okay.
That and the fate of the galaxy.
All right. See, I'll take maybe the fate. Like, and that's the whole thing too. Have you ever heard like John Williams talk about like why he wrote it like this? That it's like he was, it's the energy beams like that are going up and stuff like that. Well, that reminded me of this. And like, he was like, I'm just going to put this. I just think he just decided to come to work and decide to make some fire. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know how much he actually knew about the plot of it.
Maybe not. I don't think it matters. But
Okay.
I mean, the point is that,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the name of the track. So I
It
don't think
is.
Dave Filoni just came up with that.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering is like maybe he like really sat and was like, no.
And also, how does that fight end? What is the last beat of that fight? Promise me you will train the boy.
Yeah.
Yes, master.
Yeah. Okay. It can go in S. I'm just like, no, I mean, because I'm thinking about the other things that I would put in S.
Well, they can all go there. Just you order them how you want to order them.
Yeah, but does this belong with the other S's? That's all I'm getting at.
I think yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We can move it later, but
Okay.
in my opinion, I think that there's nowhere else that can go. I mean, if you look at music, I mean, gosh, Duel of the Fates, man. I mean, it is the track.
Yeah.
Some would argue the best track in the whole saga. I wouldn't argue that, but some would.
Yeah, they're on crack. Anyway.
I don't think that. I mean, I think it's a valid argument. Oh, it's yours, isn't it? It's mine. What are you doing?
You relax. It's my turn.
So don't peek in there.
I'm not peeking. I can't see anything. Relax. My old Padawan. This is
the other half of that fight.
You have the other half of that fight.
You have a bad memory about this.
I have a horrible memory about this fight. I don't even like thinking about it. Like it really like Really bums me out, man. So this is Yoda and Dooku.
You're going to tell the story?
Yeah, I can.
Tell the story.
So, all right. Little Seth comes out of the Phantom Menace. He's told by his friend, like, he's much older. He's like, just wait. In the next movie, we're going to see why Yoda's a Jedi Master. He's going to fight. And I'm like, okay. A couple years later, Attack of the Clones comes out. I'm sitting in the theater. Our heroes are beat. Anakin's lost an arm. Obi-Wan, he's gotten burned on the shoulder and on the knee. All of a sudden, little Yoda comes in. He's able to stop some lightning, able to shoot it back. Oh my gosh. Next thing you know, opens up his cloak, grabs his lightsaber. And it's like, this is it. This is wild. Holy cow, it's happening. They clash together. And little Seth's in shock that this is happening. But the audience is laughing and not taking it seriously. And that ruined it so bad for me. Because I looked back and was like, why is everyone laughing? Why is no one taking this seriously? Because they're just like, oh, the little green man's jumping around. It's terrible. It hurts me.
That is such a sad story.
It is. Like, it makes me sad to think about it. It's one of my worst Star Wars memories. I will be honest. That, like, because I just was, like, heartbroken that I felt like I was the only person that cared in that movie theater. And I get it. I want him to have a good time. It's fine. You interpret the art how you want to. I just didn't think it was funny. So, yeah. To me, it's the high of the D tier. Because at the end of the day, it's a guy swinging at nothing because Yoda's not even there, like, for the choreography and stuff like that. You do get John Williams. It's kind of a little bit more of a fate of the galaxy, I guess, but still, we argued that our boys are in C tier because, like, he's just a bad guy at that point. I also think it's silly that he just knocks that thing down and then Yoda has to stop. Yeah. It's either...
I would probably agree with that, but then I'm thinking, should that go there too? Because I think this is better than that. Oh, I don't know.
No, I prefer them over.
All right.
Yeah. That's just me. And I know that I have just bad memories tied to it.
I'd probably put it in C, but
I think it's just kind of... Yeah. I mean, you could put it below Tross, I guess.
No, that's all right. I'll put it there.
Okay.
Another Rebels one. I cheated with Rebels. I put 3 because they're like way different characters.
Okay.
This one is Twilight of the Apprentice, Vader versus Ahsoka.
Okay.
I think this fight is awesome.
Is it better than the fight that you have it above right now?
Yeah. I'd put it, okay, once again. This one's hard because do you include their conversation before they start fighting? Because that's a before they start fighting. It's like it leads up to it. And
I mean, you can include their conversation after he's been cut or whatever.
Yeah, that's all really good. The Ahsoka.
Yeah.
And you get to hear James Earl Jones. I mean, he's come back for this. I really like him with Ezra in the beginning too. When Ezra's like, I'm not afraid of you. Then you will die braver than most.
Mm-hmm.
That's an all-timer Vader line for me.
Comes in riding on his TIE Advanced.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
with the headlights on.
Yeah, like why do that? Why? Come on, he's so dramatic.
Yeah.
And their fight. I mean, you talk about. I mean, our first rule here: the weight. I mean, this is what puts her on her path of depression. Well, until Ahsoka.
I was going to say she kind of dies from this.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, until Ezra does some time travel craziness. Yeah.
And she spiritually dies from this until she has to meet him again after his redemption.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good. I don't know. I'd probably put it in A. It's just a matter of where. I would probably put it just below this one because I think I like the weight of this one more. Thinking about it, I'd probably put it above the Maul one, so I'd probably put it right there.
I think it's below the Maul one.
You think it's below?
Yeah. Me personally.
I'll compromise with you and put it there.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Because we don't see a lot of it. That's the whole thing. Is that there's a lot of Kanan and Ezra drama happening.
That's true. I don't like some of the cutaways.
Yes.
The biggest thing that I don't like about this fight, you start like the music. Kevin Konnor, man, you talk about what John Williams is hitting. Kevin Konnor's hitting with this.
Yeah.
And they start fighting, and then we cut away to Ezra. I need a lot more training. Shut up, Ezra.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch these two people have a heartbreaking moment together.
Yeah.
That's ultimately
Because that's
why
where
I don't
she's
like
like,
that
I am no
character.
Jedi. And then
Yes.
like pulls the blades open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. Should have died there.
She should have died there.
Yeah. I know that I know that like we've stated that we both love the Ahsoka show, but I'm just like, in another world, I'd be curious how things would have shaken out if she would have just stayed dead.
I don't think, even in another world, I don't think you can have Vader kill Ahsoka unless the show is about Ahsoka, because I don't know how you deal with the fallout of that.
I mean, he didn't.
without-
I mean, like they kind of like died together or whatever.
I know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how you tell that story.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so crazy, because that show's not even about her. It's like, how do you could do that in Clone Wars, like if you did a time jump, because it's about them.
Yeah.
But she's kind of a side character
For
in the
her
show.
just to die in Rebels and then
Yeah,
that's it.
but by Vader, and it's like, I mean, she could die in Rebels, but like
Yeah.
by Vader, it's like, man,
Yeah.
how do you deal with the fallout of that?
Yeah. It's just interesting.
I mean, she did kind of die for a bit.
she
That's what
did
people
for
thought.
like 2 seasons, and then that was it.
That's
And
what
then-
people thought.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then Ahsoka
lives.
lives.
And Dave Filoni ripped off the the question mark, and it was an exclamation point. You ever see that? He was wearing that T-shirt. It was hashtag Ahsoka lives with a question mark, because that's
Yes.
what the thing was. And he ripped it off, and it was an exclamation point, and people were like, "She is alive."
He can't have her stay dead. Here's a prime example. He can't have her stay dead. He's got to put her retroactively in things.
This wasn't a retroactive thing.
I mean, they came back to it.
yeah, but this was always. I mean, they referenced this in Rebels.
Was that the plan? Was that
It
always
was.
the plan?
They referenced this in Rebels.
I mean,
She
at that
was
point, the book was out, though.
yeah, but she was always supposed to be part of Siege of Mandalore.
Okay.
I know George wanted her to die during Order 66.
Really?
I think so. I think that was something Dave lobbied for.
The keep her alive?
Mhm.
Of course he did.
I'm not gonna lie, that's where I would have liked. If she were to die at some point, that's where I would have liked her to die. Was during Order 66. What a powerful thing.
Wild. So anyway, to this fight, Maul versus Ahsoka, Siege of Mandalore. This is tough. This is a lot of fun. Like, this is a good fight. And I really like that Ray Park came back to do this.
Yeah, they motion captured this
Yes.
fight.
And
They didn't
you
just-
can tell, like, they move differently. Because, like, yes, there's a lot of emotional weight, but I think that's something that does hurt the cartoons. Or the animation, whatever you want to call it. They just don't move like people a lot of the times. Like that Inquisitor versus Kanan and Ezra. There's just those quick
Yeah,
movements.
It's very stylized.
Yes, it is. And then also, like, yeah, Rebels is like that. I guess all we have are Rebels fights on here right
This
now.
is a spoiler alert. This is the only one from Clone Wars I have, because I thought like this was the fight from.
It
Clone
is.
Wars.
I mean, this is the best fight in animation that they've done, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. Do I think it's better? Because, okay, here. Do you think it's S tier?
I'd almost put it there. I think that the art is incredible. I think that the fact that they came, like you said, the motion capture is incredible.
And who they got to motion capture it is cool.
I think the music is really good.
Yeah.
Again, I love the fact that Maul is right in this.
I was going to say, I do love the whole, man, that's a fun what if she went with him.
Yeah, she joined him, and she
Yeah.
almost does. It's
Yeah.
like, that's so good.
It is good.
I don't know that I can put it in S though.
See,
I
my
think,
thought is it's just below Kylo Ren and Rey.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
my
good.
thought.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
That's probably where I've got it too.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot else to say about it. I think it's really good. I think it's the apex of this show as
Yeah.
far as the action goes, because everything after this is kind of falling action.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, man. We get the best. I mean, this is this is all S tier stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the fight itself. I don't know. I would call these 4 episodes S tier Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's like this fight. I mean, I could almost put it S tier.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I think the ending is a little lackluster. Like, there's not a ton of emotional resonance to the
Yeah.
ending, and it's
And then
also
I was going to say that, like, it doesn't ever feel like Maul has any kind of advantage over her, though, either.
yeah. And it's like, what's really hanging in the balance here?
Mandalore.
Like, when you really come down to it, like, what
Yeah.
is really, like, yes, there's a lot between these two characters, but what happens if Ahsoka wins, and what happens if Ahsoka loses?
Yeah.
The story doesn't change.
Not really. Order 66 is still going to happen because
Yeah.
they can't come to like terms with each other.
Yeah, Maul maybe goes and tries to stop Anakin, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. That's a story.
Yeah.
That he goes to Mustafar.
Yeah, but even then, he'd have to find out where he is. So I
Yeah.
don't think he'd figure that out. So
I don't know. That'd be wild. Shows up with Obi-Wan.
TLJ.
Yeah.
Luke versus Kylo Ren. Our one caveat, because no lightsabers actually touch.
Yeah. I still think it's powerful.
It is very powerful. I think
like
that this...
It means it's a lot of what it means to be a Jedi.
It is exactly... That's exactly what I was going to say. This movie drives me nuts, obviously.
This part's not that bad.
No,
though.
I like this part a lot. I think that...
it is silly that he dies from it, but at the same time, he is like force projecting himself across galaxies. Yeah.
That's always the thing with TLJ. It's like anytime something cool happens, it's with a caveat.
Yeah.
And that's what upsets me. Well, there's a lot of things that upset me in that movie, but I think that this fight, though, is, like you said, I mean, there are alternatives to fighting.
Yeah.
And Luke has really come to his own as a Jedi. I mean, this is probably the most powerful thing we've ever seen a Jedi do in canon.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. I mean, he projects himself as being across the galaxy. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he's extremely powerful here, and he does it in such a passive way. He does it so selflessly to save his family, to save his friends.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't really count it as part of this, but his final scene with Leia.
Yeah.
What a powerful scene there too. That whole section of the movie, I think, is really, really good. I love the
music.
visuals, the music, the visuals of this scene are excellent.
Yeah.
When he walks out, I think that's my favorite track in the whole movie, the musical track, the dum, 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 dum. When he walks out right through that door. And then I think he looks cool.
Yeah.
I love the black Jedi robes, and I like how they built off of that in the Rise of Kylo Ren comics. There's a line when they meet the Knights of Ren. Ben Solo, who's a kid at the time, they're all like laughing at Luke or something. And Ben Solo's like, "Don't you know who this is? This is the legend, Luke Skywalker." And so the idea is that the reason Luke appears this way, because he looks exactly the same in that comic, is that he's appearing to Kylo to kind of mock him, like, I am that guy. I am the legend Luke Skywalker that you once thought I was.
Yeah.
Because, the whole movie, he's like, I'm not that guy. Yeah, I'm not that guy, but he is that guy.
Yeah.
And he's kind of he's living up to his own legend. He's living up to his own name, but he's also showing Kylo, he's intimidating him. He's playing a mind game with him. He's also playing a mind game with him with the saber.
Exactly. That was where me as a fan, I was like, there's something is up with this when I was watching it for the first time, that I'm like, there's something is very off with what's happening. Yeah.
Which I thought that was interesting, because Luke obviously couldn't know that happened. And that was just him being like, you know what? I am reclaiming my past in this way. I thought that was cool. I think that
it's weird when Rian Johnson hits, he really hits.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's like, what in the world? Why couldn't the whole movie be like this? You know what I mean? It's like, and Adam Driver's delivering a great performance. So to go on our bullet points, why they're fighting, boom, love it. I mean, Luke couldn't have a better reason. Yeah. Kylo couldn't have a better reason to hate him.
Yep.
The music, it's great. The choreography, very unique.
It is.
I will say there's that one weird shot where Luke kind of dodges and you can tell he's like a CGI double.
Yep.
But
have you seen that thing where it's the same swings that Rey did earlier in the movie? Yeah. I don't know how I feel about that. I think that's such a weird choice.
Yeah.
To have them do that.
It's Rian Johnson is a very indie movie director. And at times I think that that's really cool. Like there's a shot towards the end of TLJ when Captain Phasma turns on her guards and she like pulls her gun up, and it's like in a very specific spot. And so to do that shot, he reversed it. That's a very indie movie director thing. Like nowadays they would there would be a rig or something to make that work. Yeah. So just a very old school, you don't have a lot of money, so you do it that way. So I think that the shots in this are very indie movie director. Like they're not crazy.
Yeah.
You don't have these insane, like sweeping shots or anything. They're pretty by the books, but they're very intentional. But I think Rian Johnson's a terrific director.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of his writing. That's all. And like the shots of the feet on the assaults, that start to hint at what's going on.
You can see he clearly slides. Yeah.
Luke doesn't.
Yeah.
So honestly, I'm good where it's at.
It's at the top of the B?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good where it's at. I think it's better than everything. It's in B right now, but I wouldn't put it in A probably.
No. I think you're right. Okay.
What does R2 think? Yeah, he agrees.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Return of the Jedi.
Vader Luke too.
Vader v. Luke 2.
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here. You know where that goes. Yes.
It goes right there.
It does go right there
Yeah.
because this is the pinnacle of all of it, in my opinion. This is the fight again for Anakin's soul. Only his son chooses not to fight him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I mean, what more can you really say about it? I mean, I feel like our show is built on Ahsoka and this moment.
Yeah,
like,
right. We talk about it all the time.
We talk about this. Yeah.
I mean, that is Star Wars, throwing it away. And that's what makes this moment cool.
Yeah.
He learned to do that. He's tricking Kylo, but he's not picking up a saber again.
No, he's not.
He's doing it symbolically by picking up his father's lightsaber, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, gosh, the music, that Jedi's Fury.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And every layer of this fight is cool. The set piece is awesome. This is like old school awesome, in my opinion. Like this is the fireworks display I was talking about. This is home. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is us setting off firecrackers in your front yard.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good way to say it, because there's a different, that's a good way to say it. This is
you and I doing snakes and sparklers. That's us going to the show.
There's a feeling when it's awesome to see an awesome fireworks display that ends with the bombastic, all that stuff. But there's also something fun about going out with your friends in your backyard, and just having a little fun by
shooting Roman candles at each other.
Yeah, right. Like this feels like home.
Yeah,
this fight, because it's just in like what Luke has learned from A New Hope. The climax is outside the Death Star, right?
Yeah.
He's on the trench run. He's fighting. Now it's inside, because that's where the conflict is. It's in here.
Yeah.
And that's where he's fighting. He's fighting for Anakin's soul, but also his own soul.
It's true.
And
I love too that the starts in all black, ends it. He's got the white open. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, he's looking kind of like a priest.
Yeah.
In that scene as well. I don't think that they did that on purpose. Yeah. I don't think they did that on accident. I think that
you do have the devil himself there.
I mean, yes, he's literally fighting demons.
Yeah.
Yes, to save someone that he loves.
Yeah. It's
I love how the fight starts with him pulling the lightsaber and then the smack between the Emperor.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, oh my gosh, it's so good.
And
I will not fight you, Father.
And even the choreography, I think that it's fun to have this, like the super flashiness, but I think this is really fun too.
Yes.
Like that it's still good. Like it's not this, right?
No, it isn't.
But it's still like it's intentional, like very, like every strike.
The only thing I don't like is that kick, and Vader does like the full backflip over. That's the only thing that I'm like, that's a bit much, because I feel like he falls like a ton of bricks. I mean, every time that, but like, oh my gosh, under the stairs, if you will not turn, then perhaps she will.
Never.
Yeah, just oh my gosh,
and every bit of that, he jumps up onto the catwalk.
Yeah. I sense a conflict.
There is no conflict. Throws his lightsaber. He's like, I'm not dealing with this crap again.
Exactly. Which I don't know if I really.
I know that's just a fun meme that's out there. But I mean, it's cool. It's like I've said this a million times on the show. I like it when the environment is used. Like you have a set, use it. Like this, we get when they walk in that nice wide shot of the whole thing. Yeah. And then when they fight, they're going everywhere.
Yeah. Luke actually jumps in. You don't see it. He jumps into one of those little side thingies, and then Vader tries to stab him through it. It's just the camera angle's weird.
I know. Yeah. It's awesome, man. Yeah. There are days I could put this above this.
Oh yeah. Personally, I would pick, because the gravity, in my opinion, is higher. I
just think, man, like
it's hard, yeah. But
what? I mean, they're just on. I can't do it practically, but they're on the same. They're just they're on the same level.
Because I mean, let's be honest. You could slide the one over. Oh. You could slide it over because because I know I made these. Yeah, exactly. You could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do that.
Cake and eat it too.
Yeah, because the things that cap off both trilogies.
Yeah,
and they're awesome.
They are.
Yeah.
I think that it's also nice that like Revenge of the Sith ends with such a deep tragedy, and Return of the Jedi ends with such a brilliant triumph.
Mhm.
We're back.
Yeah. And again, they don't have to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I like that. If you watch it in chronological order, you get to that moment and realize, we didn't have to do this every time.
Yeah.
Luke learns that. Like,
Yeah.
we don't need these.
You don't have to come to blows.
Beautiful.
There are alternatives to fighting. This is why I like Star Wars, guys. That's it.
It is it.
Yep. In my opinion.
What's this big one?
I know what it is. You don't remember?
No.
Okay.
Oh, you saw this? The Kajimi fight from Tross?
No. Oh, I thought it was a different one. Sorry.
The Kajimi fight from Tross. This is the one where they're like fighting
There's force
through
Skyping.
the Force.
It's sick.
Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool.
I like it.
Tross is an extremely messy movie. Let's be real.
But
like,
I
feel like I always have to get this out there because people think that I'm like a Tross diehard.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's, don't get me wrong, guys. It's not a very good movie. I like to look at the positives. That's our whole thing.
Yeah.
But also, there's some fun stuff in here from time to time.
I was gonna say, I think this is one of the better parts of the movie.
Yeah, it's unique.
This is sick.
It's super unique.
Yeah. This is cooler than.
But once again, it's like, why are they fighting? There's like no reason for them to be fighting.
It's true. I agree. It's dumb. Well, it's definitely better than this.
Like
right?
she gets mad at him, like while they're force Skyping, and then she's like, "Wah!" And then they start. Right? Is that how? Am I remembering this right?
He's like trying to figure out where she's at.
I've only ever watched this once, believe it or not. I watched clips like multiple times.
Maybe we should fix that. No, he's trying to figure out where she's at because you remember they slashed the thing, and he's like, "Oh, you're on the ship."
That's right. Yeah. So she strikes first.
Yeah. No, it's awesome because I like stuff like that. He's like feeling her out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's definitely better than this one.
Yeah, it's definitely better than that one.
Yeah. And I think I might
think it's better than that one,
Yeah,
too.
I think it's probably better than that one.
I'd almost put it in B, to be honest. I just think I think it's one of the cooler ideas.
Unique.
Like one of the best ideas to come out of the sequels was the idea of the force
dyad.
Skyping.
Yeah.
So I think
Is it better than Vader and Obi-Wan on the Death Star?
Gosh, what a sin that would be. I don't think we could do that.
That comment, what a sin.
I just don't think that for our souls we could do that. But it's cool though. I don't know.
It doesn't really.
Guys, we're just being objective.
The other thing though too is they aren't actually there because remember, the fight just kind of ends.
No, they hit the Vader's pedestal.
Yeah, the helmet breaks or whatever.
And then he's
he's like, I'm coming to you.
No, she's like, oh, I know. Well, no, what happens?
Yeah, he's like, I'm coming to you. You're on the ship.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're on the ship. Because she's on the ship. That's right.
Yes,
he's the one that's not on there.
Yeah, he's just walking around because they cut the bag of and it rolls. Yeah, and it all pours out.
That's right.
Yeah.
This feels wrong, but I kind of feel like I would put it there because I think it's unique. I think it's a unique fight.
Yeah. But it doesn't really end.
I'll put it below it.
Okay.
I'll put it in B tier.
Okay.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I got you.
My Star Wars heart won't let me.
Gotcha.
Well, it's your turn. So we got to be getting to the end of these. So there's a big one we haven't done yet.
It never ends.
Oh, you just answered that one right away?
This fight sucks. It's two D-list characters.
What did you say?
I said it's two
D-list characters?
Two D-list characters. They don't even know each other. They're just fighting. I mean, yeah. Master Qui-Gon, I gotta stop. You can see the ship.
Wait a minute. I know you don't like Qui-Gon Jinn. Darth Maul, you think is a D-list character?
I'm just kidding. I'm just trying to get under your skin. I'm trying to get all those folks at home getting so mad at me.
Let's say if Tony's watching, he probably just passed out.
Had an aneurysm.
Although I agree, D tier, because nothing happens really.
It's so dumb.
It's interesting only because it's like
you don't even see much of it because it's like there's a lot going on in the ship and stuff. Darth Maul's lightsaber looks weird. It looks orange.
Yeah. I almost feel like it's not fair to even put this on the list because it's not really even a fight. It's just a teaser for the Duel of the Fates.
Skirmish. Yeah.
It's a little it's to to wet your palate, to
Yeah.
be like, hey, this is going to happen
These guys
later.
can fight.
I think it's neat because you're like, oh, this guy is a Sith. He has a lightsaber. It's a red lightsaber. Get ready. This is coming later.
Yeah.
I just think it's an appetizer.
Yeah. The hilt's abnormally long.
Yeah. What's going to happen
Yeah,
there?
exactly. I wonder what's going to happen.
Okay, there's not very many left, and we're missing one. That's the one.
Yeah.
The greatest shot in cinematic history, right here.
Well,
I was
one of them-
surprised how hot a take that was when I posted that. I mean, come on. Does it really go anywhere else?
Yeah, and it goes right under those two, in my opinion. Find me another movie that's not like a Rocky movie that has a big fight feel like this movie. Because you can't. You can't. Like, this has all of A New Hope helps build to this. All of Empire Strikes Back builds to this moment. And when he goes into that room, like, literally, like, it is like a weight is now on you. Like, even as an audience member, I'm not fighting on there, but I feel like I am. Like, this is like your team. It's fourth quarter. It's the bottom of the ninth. I mean, there is like whatever sports analogy you want to put on it, 10th round, whatever. Like, that is what this feels like. And it is like, we are the home team and we are at a huge disadvantage just going into it. Our hometown doesn't have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love it. I don't love it as much as the other two. I will admit it.
Yeah.
I prefer it over the Duel of Fates as well.
Yeah. I'm that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where I think Star Wars became Star Wars, if that makes any sense. Like we talk a lot about Star Wars DNA on the show. I think that this established what this franchise would be.
Yeah.
Like the iconic silhouettes. I mean, this is just silhouettes.
Yeah.
The clashing of lightsabers, because before we'd only seen this.
Yeah.
Which is okay. But like, that's all we knew.
I loved when
Now-
I was a little kid, that little spin he does. He hits and then Luke spins
Yeah.
and is there again. I just remember like thinking as a little kid, I'm like, that's so cool.
It is.
Yeah.
And they're using the environment. Like you see them cutting, like Vader cuts a few poles. He cuts that hose,
Yeah.
Luke's jumping around the carbon freezing chamber. Then they
Mhm.
move down to that lower level and he jumps out the window. They're on the catwalk. I mean, yeah,
You're beaten.
and then
Yeah.
I like the moment when Luke gets one hit on Vader.
Yeah.
One.
He gets really mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just goes, oh,
Yeah.
and then
And then cut. Yeah.
and then just starts whacking poles, and it's like, I think that, gosh, I said it a couple weeks ago, that line, the Force is with you, young Skywalker, but you are not a Jedi yet. That dialogue, I mean, and then
Impressive.
it's,
most impressive.
you get like 90% of your Vader dialogue from here. Like I have from Revenge of the Sith, the Vader helmet.
Yeah.
You remember those, like the Hasbro Vader helmets?
Yeah, that they all
have the
talk.
chest box
Yeah.
and they talk. I think like 90% of the lines that come out of that are from this fight.
Yeah.
But and then who can forget? It's like the line. It's one of the most iconic scenes in cinematic history. No, I am your father.
That's not true. That's impossible.
Search your feelings. You know it to be true. Gosh, man.
Yeah.
And then what's so powerful about that? It's so easy to get lost in the how iconic that is.
Yeah.
But Luke has since A New Hope. I'm going to go with you and learn the ways of the Force to become a Jedi like my father. We didn't know the word Sith at the time. When Vader starts talking in A New Hope about, the Jedi, or maybe he doesn't use the word, but they say that he's the last of that ancient religion.
Yeah, that's what Tarkin says
Yeah.
about
So
him.
you're
Yeah.
at this point, you just think Vader is a Jedi. He's just one that's bad.
Yeah.
And so
A
now
dark Jedi, if you will.
I am your father, Luke. This whole time he's been training to become a Jedi like his father. And oh, shoot, that's what I've been training to become this whole time.
Yeah.
I am the
And-
moment in the cave when I was looking at the mask and I saw my face, that's what it meant.
I was gonna
I'm
say,
going to become this.
Luke and Obi-Wan have been, Yoda and Obi-Wan have been trying to tell me this whole time.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
This is why I couldn't do this.
Yes.
This is why.
this is why I shouldn't have came here. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's like Vader manipulates Luke perfectly to come. But also Luke, I think, ultimately makes the right choice to come there.
Mhm.
But it is so brilliant. And one of the many, many, many brilliant things about this fight and about this movie is that Luke's fatal flaw is also his greatest strength. It's his loyalty and his love and compassion.
He's a good person.
Yeah, he comes to save his friends, and there is no other choice. He has to come, but because he comes, he loses.
At what cost?
And man, it's so good, man. It's so good. Like these 3 fights, I could rotate them on most days.
Yeah.
I think they're all so good, but these 2 are better.
Yeah. I think that, it's the why they're fighting. I think that that's the whole thing is that like there's purpose. Like Luke doesn't know yet. Mm-hmm. Yes. Like by the end of the fight, he now knows.
Right.
But like, that scene right there where we're at, like that, again, he just knows that he needs to do this. He doesn't know why he needs to do this though.
Yeah.
And again, he brought his weapons.
Yeah.
He later learns your weapons. You do not need them.
Yes.
The Force will take care of it.
Gosh. Brilliant.
I know. Brilliant. It's why I love it.
And there's just a lot to think about because it's like, really think about like, what was Luke's other choice here? Like to not save his friends and let his friends die? Like that's what Yoda would tell him.
Well, because that's totally like Jedi's attachments. Shouldn't have attachments.
Exactly. But isn't that fascinating? Like that's fun to think. Well, it's not fun. It's fun. It's fun to think about, like was Yoda right?
I don't know.
To think about that?
Well,
I don't know.
Yoda's right in a world where like, in the sense that Yoda's looking to make sure that they win.
I know, but
go in completely with no attachments and that like they can win this fight.
I would argue no, he's not looking only just to win. He's so stricken by the Jedi dogma, even in his later years where he's learned.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, let me preface. I think that Yoda thinks by being a perfect Jedi is the way to win.
Yeah. I also think that it's like they know that Vader's Luke's father. I don't think that because you remember that they were like, oh, I didn't think about this, that he'd tell you.
Yeah.
So I think that like a fully trained Jedi doesn't matter if he's your dad. I still know I need to do this.
That adds some context to that. See, I never thought about that.
That's
like
how
a fully trained Jedi Knight would not worry about attachments. He wouldn't care that Vader was your dad.
Exactly.
You'd be able to kill him.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah.
I never considered that.
I like this fight a lot. This is
Dooku versus Anakin.
Yeah. And Obi's there too for a little bit of it. My powers have doubled since the last time count. Twice the pride, double the foe.
Twice the pride, double the foe.
I think
we got a great spot right open for it.
I think that this is bottom of A tier.
Really?
Yeah, where do you put it? You can hit me with it. I think this is one of the better duels in Revenge of the Sith. I think this is probably the second best lightsaber duel in Revenge of the Sith.
Really?
What would you put above it?
Say there's only one more and we haven't talked about it yet.
I'm trying to think of the other fights in Revenge of the Sith.
You put this at the bottom of A.
I like it a lot. I love the choreography. I love how he cuts his hand off.
Okay.
Do it. Because you get all that moment in there because that's not the final blow yet.
My gut reaction is top is C.
Really? You think that Palpatine Mace is better than it? You think that General Grievous and Obi-Wan are better than it?
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
No. I don't know that I'd go A though. Okay, throw your ideas out there and then I'll argue.
I like well, I guess that there isn't a whole lot of John Williams in it. It's pretty quiet.
But that's not like
I know. I'm just thinking. I'm thinking. All right. I think there's a lot of layers with the whole like they're going there to rescue Palpatine, but then it's like, oh no, they're entering the thrall of Palpatine basically, or Anakin is like, and this is it has a big fight feel because this is the rematch from the ending of the last movie. I mean, Obi-Wan's taken out right at the beginning, so Anakin's got to prove himself, and he's the hero. I mean, he saves his buddies. Our fate will be the same as his.
Yeah,
I think the choreography is really good too. Like I really like how they. Yeah,
it is good.
I like a lot of.
Actually, you know what? It reminds me a lot of this fight.
Yeah, like the speed and everything, and just how fluid it looks. Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah,
I think, in my opinion, and now that I'm really sitting down and thinking about it, I have a lot of nostalgia for this fight.
Yeah,
because
I wish it was longer. It goes really fast. Yeah, that's my only like qualm with it.
I think I played a lot of the video games at the time. Like I've talked about a million times, Lego Star Wars, the Revenge of the Sith game.
Yeah.
And when you're a kid and you're not very good at video games, you replay the first level a million times and he's always the first boss.
Yeah.
And so
he's real tough.
And I mean, he's not super tough. It's just as a kid, he's kind of hard. You know? And so I can recall this scene in a million different mediums, and I've always liked it. I think that with the context of books, it's also really cool. Like Count Dooku finally learning. It's also Anakin's it's his last trial of the Clone Wars and his first trial as a Sith.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
all
like
you're doing is you're just making arguments for me, buddy.
I know. Well, he's like, he kills Dooku,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Sith thing to do. He kills
It's not the Jedi way.
Yeah. It's almost like a rule of 3 thing. Like, he kills his predecessor.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is like, it's because of this is what makes this happen. I mean, he kills Dooku, which then makes him stop Mace from killing Palpatine.
Ooh. What?
Where do you want to put it?
Well, I'm thinking about the ranking because now it's getting hard because there's like a ton of stuff on here.
Yeah.
I think maybe this is better, just the weight of everything. And I love Luke, but also,
but you love Anakin.
I do love Anakin. It's definitely better than this. So I'm deciding.
It's better than Obi-Wan and Vader.
Is it though?
Do it.
Fine. I'll keep it there.
Okay.
I'll keep it there.
I just think it's hitting on a lot of cylinders.
It is.
I think that George starts it with a bang.
It does.
Yeah.
It's cool. It feels like the opening of Revenge of the Sith is its own movie, and then that's kind of the finale.
Should then be they wreck the ship.
You know what this is? Because
there's a couple in there, aren't there? Still?
Nope, that's it.
Oh,
so it should be only one more because I can only think of one more fight.
And it's from
Revenge of the Sith. There's only one more fight to talk about. Only one more lightsaber duel. Come on. The heart of the galaxy. The fate of the galaxy.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about them.
Palpatine versus Sidious.
Yeah, I was going to say, how much do we say is the part of the fight? I guess that we're doing Grievous Obi-Wan rules, aren't we? Because Yoda kind of loses his, Palpatine loses his lightsaber and then Yoda loses his.
I'm going until Yoda falls.
Okay.
This is with Revenge of the Sith, people make fun of me for this. I use the word mythical with this movie because it feels like a myth. It's a Greek tragedy.
It is.
That's how this movie was written.
That. Yeah.
And when we get to this scene, gosh, all the buildup from the prequels.
I threw the Senate at him. The whole Senate.
Yeah. Right? And I think the symbolism, the music, it's all, it's being intercut with this.
Yeah.
And then it's the moment that really starts to sell it for me. That really hits home is when they rise out into the Senate chambers. And it's like, oh, wow, we're literally fighting for the heart of the galaxy, for the fate. Where is the galaxy going to go? That's what is being determined here. If Yoda wins, he can course correct. Yeah. The galaxy can be saved. And he hopes that Obi-Wan will win too. Yeah. But if Yoda loses, the Jedi are gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
I remember thinking that in the theater. As soon as seeing that go up, and I'm just like, Yoda's so small.
Yeah.
In that giant face. The novelization.
He's a candle in the void.
He is a candle in the void.
And it's and also he is in Palpatine's domain. He is the Senate.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's
layers on layers, man.
It is layers on layers. And like I said, the music is really cool. And I like that it's intercut with this fight. I don't think it detracts from this fight at all. No. I think that it builds on it because it's this is the personal story. That's the greater galaxy. This is the stakes.
Yeah.
This is if this doesn't work out. And I also we talked about this on our Tales from the Archives episode, but when Sidious initially he's trying to run and then Yoda ignites his lightsaber and he's like, Darth Vader will become more powerful than either of us. Does he really believe that?
I think with true training. And I think too that he's completely confident that Obi-Wan's going to beat, even if Yoda's able to overcome Sidious, then it's it doesn't matter
because Vader's going to win. Yeah, I think he is totally devastated by Vader losing.
Oh yeah, that Mustafar. We're reading it right now. The grand plan.
Yeah,
this is what they built up to.
Yeah,
years and years and years.
Yeah, and he still gets it, but it's Vader was.
He's not his prized possession anymore.
Yeah, Vader was always. I think that he just never anticipated how. I like that how Nick Gillard said it, that Anakin was he was high on a drug, on a hard drug, the dark side was like a hard drug.
Yeah.
So Anakin is by far the superior duelist and by far the superior force user.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
he's-
Obi-Wan just uses hubris.
yeah, he just uses it against him.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it such a good and such a powerful moment. So where would I put this?
I know where I'd put it.
I know where I'd put it too. I'm curious. Tell me where you'd put it.
I put it A tier, just under Kylo and Rey.
I'd put it above Kylo and Rey. Just because I think that this is like, when you think, here's the question I'll ask you. Think about both of these scenes. What to you just says Star Wars?
I don't know, man. That's tough because like it's different
and
types.
that's
It's
not
different types of Star
Well,
Wars.
that's not a sequel dig. I'm just
no,
legitimately
but it's different types of Star Wars because like what's playing during this? The Duel of Fates is playing, but then what's playing that? The Force theme is playing.
I know.
And it's like, it is Star Wars. I almost say move this to A tier, then you move Kylo Ren to the bottom of S tier, like the very bottom of it.
I can't. That
That,
doesn't
like-
belong there. I can't.
Because like it's like different ways of Star Wars. And you know me, I'm kind of a wuss. So like I'm gonna pick the sequel because like it just like it put like it has those lighter motifs and stuff like that. That's just me.
I just
though.
think about like also the grandness of this.
Yeah, it's insane. But I also like a couple of teenagers beating each other up in the woods.
Gosh. I would go here. You would go here. Man, this one's tough.
Put them together. Put them
Side
both
by
at the
side.
top. Yep. If that's what we have to do.
We can't do it. This is getting crowded.
Yep, it is getting
I'm
crowded.
completely honest with you. I am surprised we didn't have any in F tier.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our list.
Yeah.
That's our Saber Battle tier list. So we'll yeah. I was gonna say there's a lot that are missing from like Clone Wars and stuff. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
our own of like a separate one for those. Because
There's so
there's some
many.
other good ones.
There are really good ones.
Like Maul versus Vizsla.
yes.
Maul and Savage versus Palpatine.
Palpatine fixes all the problems with Clone Wars
Yes.
in
It's good.
10 minutes.
And then there's Savage and Maul versus Obi-Wan and that other Jedi.
Yes. What about
Um,
Anakin and Dooku when they're fighting in that like I don't
That's
know, like
good.
is a dining room basically?
I also like Asajj and Obi-Wan when they team up against Savage and Maul. That's a really good one too. There's a bunch of good ones.
Yeah.
It's just, gosh, we're already crowded and
Yes.
it's already an hour and a half in, you know?
Yeah.
So
They've heard us. They're like I know the people at home. They want us to stop talking at this point.
honestly, I'm pretty happy with this list. There's none that I would move.
Yeah.
I think that it gets a little shaky in B tier because I'm like, gosh, I could reorder some of those, but it
Yeah.
depends on the day.
I think that the Vader Obi-Wan 2 is too high. That's the only one that I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like when we start like thinking about like Fate of the Galaxy and stuff like that, when we start
Yeah.
really factoring that in and stuff. Yeah. That's the only one. I love that this made it into B tier.
It's just unique.
It is.
I know. It's just
Yeah.
the stuff about Tross, man. It's like
Yeah. There's interesting
there-
ideas
there's
in that movie.
It's probably the worst of the movie, honestly. But I think that
the
there's
worst
just-
of the movies. What?
It's probably the worst movie, but like just as a movie
Of the trilogy?
of all of them.
Yeah.
But I think there's a couple fun scenes in there. I'll stand by. It's a guilty pleasure.
No,
What can I say?
JJ cooked moments, but he cooked.
It's like when you say cooked, it's like when you put a plate of pizza rolls in the microwave. It's like you technically cooked and it's good, but
No,
did you really cook though?
Those pizza rolls were in the oven. They were made with love. they didn't not microwave.
Were they though?
Not for there it was.
On JJ, I think they're doing a good job, but I don't know, man. I think JJ really phoned it in.
You think so? He was like editing it up to like the moment. He cared because he wouldn't have if he really was phoning it in. Would he have been like trying to get?
Boy, I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
Well,
one day.
we'll try to get him on an episode.
Yeah. Especially after these comments, he'll
Yeah.
be stoked.
I'm in his corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, hey, this movie's great.
That movie is great.
No, I
Wish you would have stuck with it.
Right.
Yeah.
One day we'll have to talk about those movies. One day we'll have to talk about each. We've not talked about the actual trilogies yet. We're
No.
saving those
We are.
because it's like we're really one of these days we're going to have to actually do it.
Yeah.
But no, I'm happy with this list, man. I think that I don't think anything on here is super controversial. I think that
Yeah.
I mean, it's honestly kind of probably a pretty bland list.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine that people are really going to be.
We don't have any hot takes in here, I don't think.
No, not really.
I think people probably have an issue with some of the sequel stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could put this higher on some days, this thing from TLJ.
Yeah.
Just because I really like that moment from
Like
TLJ.
what it stands for. Yeah.
Like, that's one of my favorite scenes in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
I could probably put that in A, to be honest with you. Because that was the biggest issue I had with this. Like, I think that's probably better. So I could probably put that in A. But other than that, yeah, I think all this stuff is cool.
Yeah.
So in S, we have Anakin and Obi-Wan, Revenge of the Sith. Vader and Luke, Return of the Jedi. Vader and Luke, Empire Strikes Back. The Duel of the Fates, Episode 1. The top of A, tied for first place, we have TFA, Rey and Finn, Kylo Ren. Revenge of the Sith, Palpatine versus Yoda. From the Siege of Mandalore and Clone Wars, we have Ahsoka versus Maul. From Ahsoka, we have Baylan Skoll versus Ahsoka Tano. Also from Ahsoka, we have Anakin Skywalker versus Ahsoka Tano. From Rebels, we have Maul versus Obi-Wan, or Ben, rather.
Old Ben Kenobi.
Also from Rebels, we have Twilight of the Princess. Twilight of the Apprentice, Rebels versus Vader. Revenge of the Sith, Count Dooku versus Anakin.
I can keep going. I feel bad. You're saying
Oh, you can
this.
go. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, so from Last Jedi, or this is top of B tier now, the Last Jedi, Kylo Ren versus Luke Skywalker. Then we have Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader from the Kenobi show, round 2. Then we have Mace Windu versus Darth Sidious. Then we have General Grievous versus Obi-Wan Kenobi. Then we have Ben Kenobi versus Darth Vader from Episode 4, A New Hope. Then we have Kylo Ren versus Rey at Rise of Skywalker. What is the name of
Kajimi.
Kajimi. All right, now we're off to C tier. We have Dooku fighting Anakin and Obi-Wan Attack of the Clones. Then we have Rey and Kylo on the Death Star 2, also from Rise of Skywalker. Then under that, we have the Rebels versus the Grand Inquisitor from Rebels. Then in D tier, we have, which I could almost just put these
Flip those.
like side by side, because like it just hurts me so much. Because like, yeah, it's just a garbled mess in D tier. But it's Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon Jinn, and then Count Dooku versus Yoda from Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm happy with
Where
it.
would you put our lightsaber battle from the beginning of this episode?
I mean, it's pretty S tier.
I put. Hey, okay. Now we got to hear from the homies at home about this. Post a little prompt.
Yeah.
Let's begin. We got quite a bit from this one. Thank you guys so much for. As always, we always post our prompts throughout the week over at Instagram at Beyond the Dune Sea. From at Jonathan Casilla. Hope I said that right. Number 1, A tier, Rots, Kenobi versus Anakin. B tier, ESB, Luke v. Vader. 3, Phantom Menace, Qui-Gon, Kenobi v. Maul. So I assume you've excluded S tier from this because obviously. But hey, man.
Yeah.
That's like exactly.
It's kind of what's going on. Yeah. It's kind of what's going on.
Like I said, I don't think we had a lot of hot takes on this one.
No.
Old Greg Foskett. We didn't have any Rogue Ones and C tiers on here.
It's true.
Old Greg Foskett. What characters do you wish you saw more in Saber fights, animation, live action? That's a good question. What characters do we wish we've seen in Saber fights? You know a fight we forgot to put on here? I don't know that it counts, but Leia versus Luke.
I mean,
it's cool though.
It is neat.
They're
just kind of swinging all around and everything.
I know,
like
but
that.
I think that's a neat scene.
It is kind of cool.
Like I said, like there are moments in Tross where I'm like,
yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
What characters do I wish we saw do more lightsaber fighting? Honestly, I wish we got a little bit more in Rebels because when I went back to do this list, like they don't really lightsaber duel a whole lot in there.
They're just kind of running and gunning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess there's not a lot of people for them to duel.
Yeah. Except for Inquisitors.
There is that cool, another fight I could have chose to put on here that I actually really like is Kanan and Ezra versus Vader.
Yeah. I was kind of curious why you picked the Inquisitor over that one.
I did because it's a finale fight.
Yeah.
I tried to pick finale fights.
Yeah.
That's why I picked the ones that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the movies, I just picked them all because there's not that many.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so if I pick that Vader and Kanan fight, I'd put it probably in B tier. I like that fight. I like when Vader grabs Kanan's arm and throws him. I
Yeah.
think that's cool. And
I like
they
when
drop-
he lifts the
Yeah.
yes. When he
Yeah.
lifts the ATST. Yeah.
I think that's sick.
That's tough. I don't know. Like that everybody kind of gets to fight a lot. I mean, I like strictly I always think Kylo Ren's lightsaber is really unique, so I wouldn't mind of
Yeah.
seeing him fight more.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that, you know what? That's probably my big one too. Kylo Ren. I'd
Yeah.
like to see him fight more.
Yeah.
We really don't see him fight a lot,
No.
actually.
Not really. I really like the opening of Tross.
Yeah.
Because
right?
like he's because he's
We're
doing
always
stuff.
talking
Yeah,
about- Isn't that funny? That's what I'm talking about. It's like, when I think about that movie,
What about him? I was gonna say, I think he's cooking the first couple minutes of that movie.
it's cool.
Yeah, it is cool, dude. The pizza rolls were in the oven for that
They
part.
were, they
yes,
I think there are parts of that movie that are really fun. It's
Yeah.
just, I just will never forgive that movie for bringing Palpatine back in Fortnite.
Yeah.
There's no way.
yeah,
I just, like, if you told me that, I'd be like, dude, that's a Family Guy sketch. There's
Yeah.
no way.
and it
I
happened.
can't believe that's real.
Yeah,
So yeah, Kylo Ren.
yeah.
Chase _ Forensworth. I hope I said that one right. What's your favorite Duel theme, and why is it Duel of the Fates? It is Duel of the Fates.
Duel of Fates is your favorite.
You know what? I think it's Battle of the Heroes, but that's like a remix of
well,
Duel
what
of the
about
Fates.
the Jedi one?
Jedi's Fury?
Yeah,
I also really like Jedi's Fury.
yeah.
Those are my top 3. Jedi's Fury is very, very good. I think that's an underrated theme.
What about Anakin versus Obi-Wan? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Battle of the Heroes? I said that.
Dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun.
Battle of the Heroes.
No, it's not.
That's called something else?
Yes, it is Anakin versus Obi-Wan, then it goes into the Duel of Fates, then it goes into Battle of the Heroes. Those are different
I just
songs.
assumed that was just all one giant track
No,
called Battle
it
of the
is
Heroes.
not. It is not. I swear to you.
So then, what's Battle of the Heroes then?
With the chorus that's going, oh, where they're it comes back when they're like smacking against each other when like
I
they're
think it's
swinging
just
back.
the same song.
It's not. I
Well,
swear
it might
to you.
be called something different in
It
the
is
soundtrack,
not.
but I consider it the same
Okay.
because it's the same theme.
Whatever. Okay. It's different.
Fine, but that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
I'm thinking about like, I think I might like Jedi's Fury.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't-
because like
dude,
I
it's
like
good.
the Palpatine. I
How
like
it
that
ends
you
with
hear.
that?
Yes, and I like a lot of that.
I think it's underrated. I
It
think
is.
it's a very underrated theme.
Yes.
It's so powerful.
Yeah,
like I'm not a music guy. I wish I was, but
I wish that I had that talent.
Ashton
Is that the guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
If you,
I wish.
I don't know if he puts fan questions every now and again. I don't know if you watch our show. If you do, if you can break down Jedi's Fury,
That would be
I
cool.
would love that.
Hey, and if
Ashton
you ever
Hara-
want to come on the show, I
I would love to have him on.
because I would just like to pick his brain about stuff because I don't understand how music works.
But yeah, so Ashton Sharrett, and I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, but please, if you want to cover Jedi's Fury,
That'd be cool.
it's such a cool track.
Yeah,
And
it is.
and if you don't follow him on Instagram, please do, because my goodness, very talented.
Even if you like only kind of like music in Star Wars, like
Right.
it's worth listening to. It's so cool.
Moving on, Jay Recchi. Does the emotion of the fight matter as well as the style of the fight when ranking? Yes, 100%.
Look at our list.
Probably
it's
more
about
so.
here,
It
not
is.
about what they're
Yes.
doing. Yes, it's all
Absolutely.
about here. Star Wars is about here, in my opinion.
Because if you're just judging the choreography, I mean, this fight's probably not an S tier.
No, not at all. But like, it's everything around it.
Yeah.
Even I would say, I don't know if the Vader Luke first one's an S tier.
Yeah, if it's just the choreography, I
Yeah.
agree.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that we didn't really talk about, I was subconsciously it subconsciously influenced my decision, was like cinematography of the fights too.
Yeah.
Because cinematography kind of goes with choreography. It can be like a dance between the camera and the choreography. And I think that those fights also have a lot of cool stuff with that.
Yep.
KatieSaurus.rex. I think Hayden's the best with a lightsaber, and that sells him as the chosen one. Thoughts? And she also says, also, I love him, but my theory is that he didn't do any line reading for his audition, just saber work. I think the actual thing is he was in a movie where he was playing this like goth guy, and George was like, there's a lot of darkness in that guy. And I think
There's a lot of dark. I can tell he cooks his pizza rolls in the microwave.
Shut up with that. I should have said that. Gosh.
There is darkness in that kid's soul. It's never even touched an air fryer.
Dang it. Man, there's layers to that joke. It's like you had to be watching. It's an inside joke mixed with this comment, mixed with a George impression. Wow, that was okay. What was the question?
It was just commenting about Hayden.
He is great.
She loves him. I love him too.
I think he is the best of the lightsaber.
He's the ideal
but
man.
Don't say, yeah.
I mean, he is.
Yeah, I mean, you may not like it, but that's what peak physical performance looks like.
I wish I looked that cool.
Right,
I swing a lightsaber from time to time. I don't look that cool.
And he earned it too. Like he earned his keep as like the best swordsman in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he's earned as one of the best swordsmen in cinema at this point.
Yeah.
And don't undercut Ewan either. I mean,
oh no, Ewan's very good.
Yeah.
It's just that
he has the ferocity. Like
that, and then for lack of a better term, Hayden's got that stank on it. Like he's got that style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think that Ewan, probably with how he was trained, is more of like a traditional.
Yeah.
Hayden's really got you could see it. He's got that street style. Yeah.
It is. And something that I wish we would have brought up during our Ahsoka coverage, but with his physicality, he really brings what I imagine Vader would be before he was in the suit.
Oh yeah, no, and I think that's cool because we see so little of that.
Yeah, and I always and as an aside to that, when he comes out in Ahsoka, when he does the flash between Vader, you lack conviction.
Yeah, gosh,
Hayden was really channeling a Vader there. Like picture that line with James Earl Jones's cadence.
Yeah,
and with his voice.
Oh yeah,
that was such a Vader line.
Oh yeah,
I think Hayden deserves a lot of credit, a lot more credit than he's given. Josh Frice, why didn't The Last Jedi have a lightsaber duel? That's a good question. I think that it kind of comes down to a lot of what happens with The Last Jedi, and that's Rian Johnson wanted to be different.
Yep. And
sometimes it's cool, and sometimes it comes at the expense of the movie.
I was going to say, I think that scene hits, though.
It does.
Yeah.
I know. It's cool. Unfortunately, I think... I don't know the guy, but if I've said this before, if you watch the documentary about this, you get a little bit of a peek inside the guy's mind when he was making the movie. I think that you can infer a lot about his movie making process and his mindset. And to me, it seems like I know the joke is The Last Jedi is all about subverting expectations, and I think there's some truth to that. But there's also a lot of, I think he wanted to deconstruct everything. And he probably, I can almost picture him being like, okay, every movie ends with a lightsaber battle. What if we did it, but they didn't actually touch?
Yeah, they weren't actually fighting.
And it just feels like everything in this movie, if it was Star Warsy, it was like, it's Star Warsy, but.
Yeah.
So, like I said, though, on occasion it hits.
Like that one meme where the guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I said, on occasion it does hit.
Yeah.
He does. I think that the deconstruction can be cool, but when that's your point when you're writing it, it feels ego driven, and I think that it's.
I think he gets Star Wars. I think that he was just he let the mission. Yeah, I think he let the let the
message cloud his judgment. In my opinion, I mean, you're right. He does get it. Like you have to. This is going to sound so much worse than what I'm going to mean, but I'm going to explain it afterwards. You have to understand Star Wars in order to blow it up like he did. What I mean by that is I think that he tried too hard to deconstruct. I can appreciate the mission. I can appreciate him trying to do something new. I really can.
Yeah.
And like I said before, I think he's a terrific director. I really do. His episodes of Breaking Bad are my favorite episodes.
I was going to say,
I just think
Brick is a really good film.
Yeah. It's just, I just think that, he let the message of what he was trying to do.
His mission statement.
Yeah. I have to do something new. He let that kind of get in the way.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion. That's all. MortisFM, what style of fighting is your preferred? Prime, Jedi, Boken style, sequel style. I like that there's words for that now. That's cool. Boken style, Prime, Jedi, sequel style. We kind of talked about that earlier about how sequel is that primitive. Are you trying to figure out what Boken is? That's a new term they kind of brought up in Ahsoka. Everybody trained after Order 66 is. Everybody trained after Order 66 is a Boken Jedi.
Okay.
So like that
So
period.
Prime Jedi is pre-Order 66.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking strictly choreography, then I mean, Prime Jedi.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to watch.
But all
that.
the best stories are Boken Jedi.
All the best stories?
I mean, all but one. I mean, we got it up there.
As far as lightsaber duels, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
All but two, actually.
Well, I was going to say that, like...
I mean, if you're just talking about choreography, because he says fighting style. So.
Yeah. But...
There is something cool, though, about the Boken Jedi, like about Luke and Vader's fighting. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun to that.
I mean, Vader's just toying with Luke the whole first fight.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah, Prime Jedi.
DS1_MadLad_Jason, how do you feel about the throne room scene in Rise of Skywalker? Throne room scene. I'm going to answer this in two ways because I don't know if you're referring to the throne room fight in Last Jedi or if you're referring to the throne room fight where they start out the fight in the throne room of the Death Star 2.
Yeah. Come and get me.
If you're talking about that, we talked about that in the tier list. If not, I'll talk briefly about the one in the Last Jedi.
Lightsabers don't touch.
I kind of hate that fight a little bit. The one in the Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I think the choreography is really bad. I like
20-some takes, and that's like those were the shots we got. It's really strange.
I like the idea of that fight a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun. We get to see a Darksider and a Lightsider team up like that.
Yeah.
I think the music is cool. I love the beginning of that fight.
Yeah.
Like he kills Snoke.
Then
I
she
kind of
catches
like
lightsaber.
that. Catching the lightsaber.
Then they go back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah.
But then a Praetorian Guard randomly loses a knife because it wouldn't make sense for him to have two at a certain point in the fight.
Yeah.
And then like stuff
that
like
weird
that.
spinning when like they're doing weird spins and stuff like that.
Characters have to just act like they're doing something because otherwise they could end the fight right away.
Yes. What about like Kylo knocking that one Praetorian Guard into the meat grinder? That's insane.
There's some cool stuff there. It's just like
I do really like that shot where he's going like this, and then it smash cuts over to Rey, like that. Yeah, and I do like her throwing the lightsaber to him, and him. Yeah, like
again, there's cool stuff.
There is cool stuff, but also two lightsabers don't touch, so that's why we didn't put it on our list.
I know. I was just answering the question. Yeah. Jeremy Bloor, do you think there would be more lightsaber battles as epic as Mustafar? Do you think there should be, more lightsaber battles as epic as Mustafar, or is it that special? You know what? I'll say it. I think it's that special. I don't know that I want to see anything like that again. I think
you got to build to it.
I was going to say, I'll say it like this. I don't think that there will be because I don't think that you can.
Well, you got to build to it. That's my whole thing. It's like, that's what Mustafar's deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
6 movies built to that.
There's over 20 years of buildup. There's nearly 30 years of buildup to that. I mean, and people need to understand that time is a factor. I'm talking real world time.
Yeah.
You can't just put a time jump in a movie and say that that's enough.
Yeah.
That it doesn't work like that. Like the actual time, the time, the breathing room that it takes between movies. That's also part of the reason I think the sequel trilogy didn't hit quite as hard because those movies only had a year in between.
Yep.
Whereas the prequels were about 2 years and so were the originals.
Yep.
And then the prequels and the originals were about
in
15
real
years
time.
apart.
Yeah.
In real time. And I think that that's important.
It is.
Hurdle_96. Do we need more conversation on how Palpatine took out 3 Jedi in a matter of seconds? That's another thing where it's like the idea is cool.
It's slower in the book.
Yeah.
And also the original choreography was really cool.
Yeah. It's is it Gallard Clips on YouTube where the original choreographer, he has been posting like his archival footage of that. And the original fight is really cool.
I like the Kit Fisto at least. Hangs out a little longer than the other two.
Yeah, he survives just a bit.
Yeah.
The Holly Ward, which battle made you want to wield a lightsaber? That's a fun question.
I mean,
I'll tell you which one made me not. That one. Luke made me feel bad for owning them.
True.
I wanted to take this and be like, shouldn't have this.
Did you go and throw it under your bed? Like when you... Lightsabers are stupid.
I mean... this one.
I mean, dude.
Just because that was the time for me.
Well, that and then like, gosh darn it. When he comes in, it's right as, when he comes in, he does that spin. And then it's right before they go into like where the separatists are all laying on the ground. And he tries to cut Obi-Wan's arms off or cuts his hands off.
Oh, yes. Okay.
That part where he comes around, he just spins and then keeps going. He does like the Annie-Obi spin and then just keeps going. And then and then he pulls them and tries to just that. I'm like, I want to do that in a movie. I want to film that. I want to like, gosh, like I just love the look on his face. I love how he moves. I just am like, that is peak human condition right there. Like,
yeah. So it was that movie for you too then, huh?
I mean,
That made you
like,
want to...
It's either that or I talked about that, like when Vader and Luke cross and then Luke spins around and then they hit
You're a
again.
fan of spinning. It's a good trick.
It is a good trick. That I would say that those two would probably be like the really big ones.
Jojo_Swaggins, are there any Legends saber battles you would add to this tier list?
Darth Caedus versus the Sword of the Jedi, Jaina Solo.
Luke versus Mara Jade and Luke
Skywalker. Yeah.
Just because I don't know that many. Actually, no. I do know one that I like a lot. Even though I don't like the outcome of it. Starkiller versus Vader, both of them.
Okay.
I like both of those fights. I actually like the first one a lot. But again, I don't like that Starkiller beats Vader. He beats him pretty bad.
Yeah.
So that's going to do it for our second big tier list. Technically our first.
Yes.
If you want to get behind the lore.
Yeah. Layers.
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. We got some stuff coming up next week. Live stream. Our second big live stream. Be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We really enjoyed our first live stream we did it's been about a month ago now.
Yeah.
Man, time certainly does fly.
It does. Especially when you're having fun.
Especially when you're having fun.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. We can't wait to get on another live stream with you guys. Chatting some Star Wars. Maybe we'll have a guest. We'll see. Be on the lookout for some announcements about that. But as always, guys, have a good rest of your week. And we will see you out beyond the Dune Sea.